The company directory feature has been redesigned for the PeopleSoft Fluid user interface, and it's now easier to use on smartphones, tablets, and desktop systems. Clicking the company directory tile opens the company directory landing page. The simplified landing page displays the search field and your recently viewed and favorites lists. The recently viewed and favorites lists are in collapsible group boxes that display the number of employees in each category. You can quickly access your own profile by selecting the Actions list and tapping View My Profile. You can also clear your recently viewed and favorite lists in the company directory. The profile pages are similar for everyone, but you can add, modify, or remove content on your own profile. To go back to the Company Directory Home landing page, select Actions List and select Company Directory Home. Now, let's search for some other employees. Enter a name or even a job category in the Search Company Directory field. Use the Filter button to modify and refine your searches. On larger devices like tablets or workstations, the Filter page content appears in the left panel and the search results content in the right panel. The Filters page uses facets that enable you to narrow your search. Each facet lists the number of employees that fall within that item. After you've selected filter criteria, the top of the Filters page shows a Selected Filters button. You can tap this button to view the facets you've selected. Tap Done when you're satisfied with the filters you've selected. The Filter button turns green to let you know that you have filters in place. You can view a person's profile by selecting their row. For small form factors, all the details about a person are now accessible from the Profile page. On larger devices, the Profile page shows category tabs in the left panel and profile content in the right panel. When you've licensed the Oracle Maps Cloud service for PeopleSoft and Use Oracle Map Services is enabled on the installation table, you can view and select the View Address Map button to see a map of an address. This concludes the Fluid Company Directory Usability Improvements demonstration. PeopleSoft eDevelopment now uses the same direct reports configuration as other Manager self-service pages. As a result, when you access the Training Summary component, the system presents you with the Employee Selection Criteria page, as it does with other Manager self-service pages. Using the same direct reports configuration ensures a consistent set of employees presented in a consistent manner. Using PeopleSoft Fluid technology, the Element browser lets you review and maintain rules from any smartphone, tablet, or desktop system. The Global Payroll Element browser lets you browse elements by country. The Element browser presents consolidated details for each element, including the relationships with other elements. You can browse elements for Global Payroll Core, Absence Management, and all Global Payroll country extensions. Let's take a look at this feature. The left panel of the Element browser page displays a list of all elements associated with the selected country. For each element, the panel displays the element name, description, and the two-letter element type code. You can browse elements by scrolling through this list, but it's faster to use the Search field, Filter button, and Sort button in this panel to find the elements you're looking for. In this example, we narrowed the list down to 13 elements by using a search term. The right panel of the page displays information for the selected element. The header of the right panel displays the element name, PIN, and element type. The element definition and comment sections appear in this panel for every element. The other sections, like calculation in this example, are determined by the type of element displayed. All elements have three related actions you can access from the Related Actions button. Edit opens the element definition component in a separate window so you can edit the element directly. After editing an element, you need to select the Refresh related action to see your edits for the element. When you add or delete related element members during editing, use the Rebuild Effective Date element action to rebuild the element map in the element browser. Except for the element definition and comment section, all sections of this panel display element names as hyperlinks. You can click an element name to view that element in the right panel of the element browser. This lets you quickly access information for related elements. You can go back to previously viewed elements using the element breadcrumbs at the top of the right panel. This tool enables you to jump directly to any of the elements that you've viewed. The Element browser enables payroll and absence system administrators to review and maintain future changes to rules, as well as to analyze and control versions of rules and packages in a single component. This completes our demonstration of the Element browser feature. Guided self-service transactions now use the Activity Guide framework from PeopleTools. The same configuration pages control what is included in the transaction, but the end-user experience now follows the activity guide pattern. On the Promote Employee Transaction Configuration page, you can see that regulatory region is part of the transaction definition. This is used for employees in regulatory regions that don't have a region-specific configuration. We'll create a version of the Promote Employee transaction for employees in the U.S. Start by cloning the generic Promote Employee transaction. Click the Clone Transaction link. Cloning creates regulatory region variations, so the transaction ID can't be changed. When you click OK, the new USA Promotion transaction appears. We won't make any changes on this page, but notice the Activity Guide ID field. This identifies the Activity Guide definition that the system uses to render the transaction for end users. The layout of this page now shows the additional configuration options organized under 3 tabs: Questions, Actions, and Pages. On the Actions tab, you'll see additional options for configuring the action reasons in a transaction. Click the Action Reasons link and use the display checkbox to mark the action reasons that you want your users to select. Let's disable all of the acting action reasons. Click the Save button to save changes to the USA Promotion transaction. Now, let's try out the new transaction we just created. Diane Palmer is a U.S. employee, so the system automatically uses the U.S.-specific promotion transaction when we promote her. Click the Related Actions icon for Diane Palmer. Then, click the Job and Personal Information submenu. Then, click the Promote Employee menu item. The guided self-service transaction is now rendered using the PeopleTools Activity Guide framework. The transactional part of the page hasn't changed, but there are some small differences in the navigation options. You can now use guided self-service in HR to work smarter. PeopleSoft continues to extend the guided self-service functionality. This concludes our demo of Guided Self-Service Phase 2. The My Team tile in the Manager Self-Service homepage enables you to see information about your direct and indirect reports. You can also access analytics that show team-related information. And Manager Self-Service transactions can be triggered from the My Team tile. Click the My Team tile to access the My Team pages. The My Team pages display the Team Of field at the top of the page along with the manager's name and job title. The first time you go to this page, you should see yourself listed in the Team Of field. The employees that appear on this page are your direct reports. When one of your employees is also a manager, you'll see the View Team icon and a link showing the number of employees that report to this individual. When you see 2 different numbers, the first represents the employees that directly report to this manager, and the second number represents the total number of employees that report up to this manager in the reporting structure. To view the team of one of your managers, either click the View My Team icon or number link, or use the Change Team link at the top of the page. When you select the View My Team icon or number link, you can drill down the reporting structure one manager at a time. However, selecting the Change Team link lets you quickly access the team of any manager that reports up to you. This link is available to you from all pages in the My Team component, unlike the View Team icon, which is only available from the Summary page. Click the Change Team link to open the Select Manager page. This page lists all the managers that report up to you, directly or indirectly. You can also use the search field to find a specific person that reports to you. When you select a manager, the My Team page refreshes and shows the employees that report to that manager. In this case, Antonio Santos. The page also displays breadcrumbs at the top of the page, showing you the reporting structure of this manager back up to you as the manager. Click any name link in the breadcrumbs path to go to a different manager in that reporting structure. Click your own name in the breadcrumbs list to return to your immediate team. This enables high-level managers a simple way to move up and down their organization and look at employee information for their direct and indirect reports. This completes our demonstration of the Manager View As feature. Matrix teams, also known as virtual teams, enable you to create and manage different types of employee teams that may be beyond the traditional direct line or hierarchical reporting structure. Previously, administrators were responsible for creating and configuring matrix teams. Now, the Self-Service Matrix Management feature allows your self-service users to create and manage teams shown in the company directory. On the Manage Matrix Teams page, you can create, view, or update teams. This page lists the matrix teams you own. Filters enable you to narrow your list and identify teams that meet certain criteria. Click the Filter button to refine your list of teams. You can show only active or inactive teams, teams that use a specific matrix type, or a combination of the two. Click Done to see your results. The Filter button turns green to let you know that you have filters in place. On the Manage Matrix Teams page, you also have an option to create a team. Click the Create Team button to create a new team. This opens the New Team page where you can enter team details and manage members for the new team. Notice that you are automatically added as a member and the owner of this team. You'll need to enter a name for your new team and select a team type. You can use the information icon next to the Type field to find out about each type of team and more. You can also enter the date that the team becomes effective. A team can be created with a past, current, or future start date. Click the Add Members button to open the Person Selector page, where you can search for and select individuals you want to add to this team. From your search results, select an individual and then click Continue. The Member Details page opens where you can enter more details about the member. The Team Lead field lists the active members of the team so that you can create a hierarchy within your matrix team by indicating team leads. Click Done to have the system return you to the New Team page. You can add more members or save your team and come back to it at a later time. Before you save the team, new members have a status of Draft. When you save the page, the system creates the new team and triggers approval requests for the new members, if required. Return to the main page by clicking Manage Matrix Teams in the banner. All new teams are active by default. Teams are also public by default, and all teams created in self-service are visible in the company directory. Team owners have to contact the HR administrator in order to make a team private. To update an existing team, tap the Team row. Here, you can change the team or member information. You can change the status of team members, change dates for being a member of the team, enter a team member's role, or identify their team lead. You can also change team details, such as the team name, description, status, or even the team owner. This concludes the Self-Service Matrix Management demonstration. Within Talent Acquisition Manager, you can choose which types of information to include when you print an application. You can also print an applicant's questionnaire responses and include attachments like resumes and cover letters in the report. This feature adds printing options to the Browse Applicants page and the My Applicants pagelet on the recruiting homepage. In this demonstration, we'll print from the Search Applications page. Let's search for all the applications for a job opening. Here, you see all 5 applications for this job. You can print multiple applications by selecting the applications you want to include. Then, use the Group Actions menu. For this demonstration, let's just print one application. The Application Report Options page lets you choose which sections of an application to include in the report. Several grids list the types of information that you can include in the report. In all grids, a checkmark in the Content Available column means that the application includes a particular type of information. The Application Detail grid lists the main types of applications data that can be printed. This list includes all sections that are available on the Application Details page, not just the sections that are in the resume template for the job opening. The Questionnaire Type grid lists all the different screening levels that your organization uses, whether or not they're used for this particular job. The printed application includes questionnaire results for the selected screening levels. Select the Additional Questions checkbox to include questions that are part of the job application but are not part of any screening level. The Attachment Type grid lists all available attachment types in the system. This grid is only visible when you use PeopleTools 855 or higher. The attachment types you select are attached to the PDF report. There are some limitations on attachments. Check your documentation for more information. The easiest way to print all of an applicant's information is to select all sections. To avoid printing empty sections, click the Exclude Sections with No Content Available checkbox. Click the Save My Selections checkbox to use the current settings as the default report configuration. Generating the report creates the PDF file with the selected sections and attachments. Most sections of the report are unchanged, but let's scroll down to see the new questionnaire section. Here, you can see the questionnaire that was used for pre-screening. The report shows the question and all possible answers. Check marks indicate the correct answer and the applicant's answer. This feature enables your recruiter and hiring managers to see a candidate's application, answers to screening questions, resume, and additional attachments in one convenient PDF document. This completes the demonstration of the Print Application feature. You can now access the PeopleSoft Disability and Veteran Status components from the Personal Details tile in Fluid to enter and update your status from your smartphone or tablet. We've also added a link from the Personal Details page to Form I-9, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Employment Eligibility Verification Form, so that you can view and print the form and its instructions. To view your disability and veteran status, start by tapping the Personal Details tile on the Employee Self-Service homepage. Expand the left pane to access the Item Selections menu. Tap the Disability Item selection to display the Voluntary Self-Identification of Disability pane, where you can identify your disability status. Expand the left pane to return to the Items Selection menu. Tap the Veteran Status Item selection to display the Veteran Status pane. Expand the left pane once again to return to the Items Selection menu. Tap the Form I-9 item. Here, there are instructions for completing the form and access to the form itself. Tapping the I-9 Instructions for Employee link on the Form I-9 pane opens a new window that shows you employee instructions for the I-9 form in PDF format. The system shows you whether or not you've submitted the Form I-9. Tap the Go to Form I-9 link to access the Employment Eligibility Verification page, where you can complete and submit the form online. Now, you can access and update your status quickly and easily from your smartphone or tablet. This concludes the Disability and Veteran Status component conversion to the PeopleSoft Fluid User Interface demonstration. The Workforce Administration and Talent Administration homepages provide quick access to frequently used administrative components. Here, you see the Workforce Administrator homepage. Some of the tiles on these homepages provide one-click access to dashboards and work centers. Others access navigation collections that enable administrators to work with multiple components related to the same business process from one location. Here, you see the Talent Administrator homepage. This completes the demonstration of the Workforce Administration and Talent Administration homepages feature. The PeopleSoft Fluid Workforce Availability feature enables your managers or supervisors to track the status of their team members using Fluid pages. Your managers can use the Team Time page to navigate to different time administration options. On the Workforce Availability page, you can see the schedule and availability of all employees. The rectangular boxes represent the employee schedules, and the colored and patterned lines represent reported time. The time period for each employee is shown automatically based on their schedules and reported time. Tapping on the row for an employee, you can view details for the reported time. You can see details like punch type, scheduled time, and reported time. Use the categories on the left to view a filtered list of employees. The system displays the scheduled category by default. Select the No-Show category to see the time reporters who are scheduled to work but haven't reported time, are absent, or are in training. For the Scheduled Deviation category, if there's any reported time that does not match the employee's schedule, the system shows it as a deviation. The Not Scheduled category shows elapsed and punch time reporters that are not scheduled to work for the date you're reviewing. The Elapsed category shows the list of elapsed time reporters who have reported time. In the Away from Work category, your managers can see approved and unapproved absences, as well as training and comp time off. Both base benefits leave and absent management leaves, like sick and vacation, are shown in the approved or unapproved absences pages. Your managers can perform related actions for each time reporter shown. You can use related actions to manage schedules, absences, approve overtime, view timesheets, and notify employees. Weekly Time enables your managers to view the availability of team members for the week, so that managers can forecast coverage or see the actual coverage versus the scheduled coverage. This completes the Workforce Availability feature demonstration. We've only shown you the highlights of the features in this PeopleSoft Update Image. For more information about these features and the other enhancements, see the CFO tool, release notes on My Oracle support, and go to the PeopleSoft information portal for updates.